What if I told you that your comfort zone is the most dangerous place you will ever be? It feels safe, does it not? It feels warm, familiar, like a favorite chair you have sat in for years. But here's the hard truth, that comfort is quietly stealing your future. Every dream you have ever had, every goal you have ever written down, every life you have ever imagined living, none of it is sitting inside your comfort zone. It is all out there, beyond what feels safe. Think about the people you admire most. The athletes, the entrepreneurs, the inventors, the artists who changed the world. None of them got there by staying where it was easy. They got there because they stepped into fire. They leaned into fear. They walked straight into discomfort. And that is exactly why this video is called Comfort Zone Will Fail You, because it will. And I am going to show you why staying comfortable is the fastest way to stay stuck, and how breaking free from that zone could unlock the life you have been dreaming of all along. Before we dive in, I want to know something. Where in the world are you tuning in from today? Drop your location in the comments below. And while you are here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the powerful motivational videos I post every 2 days. Let's get started. Comfort feels good, does it not? It's like a soft blanket on a rainy day. You know you should get up, chase your goals, do something bold, but that voice in your head whispers, "You are fine here. Just relax." That voice is lying to you. Comfort is a slow poison. It makes you believe you are safe, but what it is really doing is keeping you from growing. Growth and comfort do not live in the same house. If you are comfortable, you are not growing. And if you are growing, you are not comfortable. Every person you look up to understood this. The people who change their lives are the ones willing to step out of their safe little bubble and walk straight into discomfort. Take a toddler learning to walk. At first, every step feels terrifying. They wobble, they fall, they cry, but they get up again. And slowly they learn. They get stronger. They get faster. They start running. Now imagine if that toddler decided, "This hurts, I will just crawl forever." Sounds ridiculous, does it not? Yet as adults, we do the exact same thing. We crawl through life because standing up feels too uncomfortable. Discomfort is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally. Think about your first time going to the gym after a long break. The first few days are brutal. Your body hurts. You want to quit? But that soreness, that pain, it is proof that your body is adapting. You are breaking down muscles so it can grow back stronger. Life works the same way. Every time you step into discomfort, you are breaking old patterns and building a stronger version of yourself. And here is the twist. Discomfort never really goes away. You just get better at handling it. The things that terrify you today will feel normal tomorrow. That is why you have to chase discomfort on purpose. Call that person you are afraid to talk to. Sign up for that class you have been putting off. Speak up in that meeting. Take one uncomfortable action every single day and watch how your confidence grows. Think about your own life for a second. Where have you been playing it safe? Maybe you have been avoiding starting that business. Maybe you keep putting off getting in shape. Maybe you are staying in a job you hate because it is comfortable. But let me ask you, is it really comfortable? Or is it just familiar? There is a big difference. Familiar feels safe, but it is keeping you stuck. Here's a story for you. Years ago, I had a friend who always dreamed of being a chef. He was amazing in the kitchen, but he was scared to leave his steady job. For years, he stayed comfortable. One day, his company closed unexpectedly, and he was forced to make a change. That moment of discomfort pushed him to finally pursue his passion. Today, he owns his own restaurant and says losing that safe job was the best thing that ever happened to him. Sometimes life will shove you out of your comfort zone. But if you are smart, you will not wait for life to push. You will choose discomfort before it chooses you. When you train yourself to embrace discomfort, you stop seeing fear as a stop sign. Instead, you see it as a green light. Fear says this is where you should go. Discomfort says this is where the growth is. And that mindset shift changes everything. Start small, but start today. Take one uncomfortable step every day. Call that client, post that video, apply for that promotion, say yes to that opportunity. Because the life you want, the one you imagine when you close your eyes, is always waiting one step outside your comfort zone. So now that you understand the power of stepping into discomfort, let us take it one step further. because discomfort is only the first move. Once you learn to live outside that cozy bubble, the next step is daring to take risks. And this, my friend, is where real growth begins. Let us be honest, most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid risk. We are taught from a young age to play it safe, to choose security over uncertainty. But here is the reality. Everything great in life requires risk. Your dream job, your dream relationship, your dream future, they are all on the other side of a leap you are scared to take. Think about the most successful people you know or admire. Every single one of them took a chance at some point. Steve Jobs dropped out of college and risked everything to start Apple. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first TV job before she became a household name. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team, but he kept pushing and took a shot at something bigger. These people did not achieve greatness because they played it safe. They achieved it because they were willing to risk failure for the possibility of success. The truth is, risk is uncomfortable because it exposes you to uncertainty. Your brain wants safety. It wants predictability. That is why risk feels scary. But fear and excitement feel almost identical in your body. The pounding heart, the sweaty palms, that is your body saying you are alive. This matters. What most people label as fear is often just anticipation for something life-changing. Let us break it down with a simple example. Remember learning to ride a bike? The risk of falling felt terrifying at first. You wobbled, you scraped your knees, you cried. But then, one day you found your balance. And suddenly, you were flying down the street with a smile on your face. That moment of freedom only came because you were willing to risk a few scrapes. Life works exactly the same way. The rewards you want are waiting just beyond your willingness to risk. Here is the funny thing about risk. Most of the time, the worst-case scenario is not as bad as we think. You will not ruin your life if your side hustle does not succeed. You will not be permanently broken if your business idea flops. What you will gain is experience, knowledge, resilience, and those are priceless. The people who succeed are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who fail, learn, and keep going. I once heard someone say, if you are not embarrassed by your first attempt, you started too late. That line stuck with me. We often wait for the perfect time to take risks, but there is no perfect time. Waiting for perfection is just fear in disguise. You are not supposed to have everything figured out before you leap. You are supposed to jump, figure it out on the way down, and trust that you will grow wings. Think about where you are right now. Is there something you have been wanting to do, but have been holding back because of fear? Maybe it is starting a business, asking for a promotion, or sharing your work with the world. Whatever it is, ask yourself, what is the cost of not trying? 5 years from now, will you regret staying safe, or will you be proud that you at least took a shot? Taking risks is not reckless. It is strategic courage. It is knowing that fear will always be there, but you choose to act anyway. When you make risk-taking a habit, your life becomes exciting. Opportunities start to find you because you are out there moving, trying, creating. People start respecting you because courage is magnetic. So, here's the challenge. Take one bold risk this week. Not next month, not when it is convenient. This week. Maybe it is making that investment, launching that project, or finally having that tough conversation. Risks are the bridges between where you are and where you want to be. And if you never cross them, you will stay on the same side forever. Now that you see how risk fuels growth, let us go even deeper. Because once you start taking risks, the next step is learning to push yourself past limits you did not even know you had. You have stepped into discomfort, and you are starting to take risks that already sets you apart from most people. But taking risks is only the start. Real growth does not just happen when you step outside your comfort zone once or twice. It comes when you consistently push yourself, stretch your limits, and prove that you are capable of far more than you ever believed. Most of us are only operating at about 40% of our true potential. That means there is still 60% of untapped strength, energy, and resilience sitting inside you, waiting to be unlocked. The problem? We stop too early. We stop when things get uncomfortable, when we feel tired, or when fear creeps in. But those who transform their lives, the ones who rise above average, are the ones who push themselves even when they feel like quitting. Pushing yourself is not about burning out. It is about refusing to settle for less than what you are capable of. It is about building grit and discipline so that even on the days you do not feel like showing up, you still do. It is about proving to yourself that your mind will try to quit long before your body or spirit ever needs to. Have you ever been in a workout and thought, that is it, I cannot do another rep? But then a trainer says, come on, one more. And somehow, even though you swore you had nothing left, you do it? That moment proves that you are stronger than you think. That lesson applies to everything in life. Your career, your relationships, your goals. You will never know your true potential until you push past the point where you feel like stopping. Take David Goggins as an example. Once overweight and unhappy, he became a Navy SEAL, an ultramarathon runner, and a motivational powerhouse. His philosophy: when your mind says you are done, you are really only at 40%. That idea changed his life, and it can change yours too. You do not have to run 100 miles like Goggins, but you can take his lesson to heart. Your limits are rarely your real limits. Pushing yourself is how you grow your capacity. It is like stretching a muscle. At first it feels tight and painful, but the more you stretch, the more flexible you become. Life works the same way. The first time you wake up early to work on your goals feels miserable. The first time you take on extra responsibility feels overwhelming. But with repetition, those things become easier and your capacity grows. Here is the magic. Every time you push yourself, you build confidence. Confidence is not built through compliments or luck. It is built by keeping promises to yourself. When you prove over and over that you can do hard things, you stop doubting yourself. Start to see challenges differently. Instead of saying, this is too hard, you start saying, I've handled worse before. If you truly want to transform your life, make pushing yourself a daily habit. Push when you are tired. Push when you are afraid. Push when nobody is watching. Those are the moments that shape you into someone unshakable. And as you develop that strength, you will begin to see why comfort is not just unhelpful, it is dangerous. It can quietly destroy your potential. Let us talk about that next. You have learned how to push yourself, to go past your limits, and to step into the version of you that few ever reach. But here is the truth that many do not like to admit. No matter how motivated you feel right now, if you choose to stay comfortable, all that progress can disappear. Comfort feels good, but it is a silent killer of growth. Let us dig into why staying in your comfort zone is slowly destroying your potential. Comfort is a strange thing. On the surface, it feels safe, feels warm, like sitting under a cozy blanket on a rainy day. There's nothing wrong with comfort in moderation. The danger is when comfort becomes your default setting, when every decision you make is based on what is easiest instead of what is necessary. Over time, that comfort becomes a trap, holding you back from everything you are capable of. Think about it. How many opportunities have you turned down because they felt uncomfortable? How many dreams have you postponed because they required too much effort? That promotion you wanted at work, that business you wanted to start, that fitness goal you have been meaning to get to, comfort whispers, "Not today," and you listen. Months turn into years, and before you know it, you are living a life you never planned for, one that is smaller than your potential. The truth is, your brain is wired to keep you safe. It loves comfort because comfort means less risk. But here's the problem. Growth only happens when you face discomfort. Comfort zones are like invisible fences. They keep you in a small, familiar world. And while it feels safe, staying there slowly eats away at your potential. You stop challenging yourself. Your creativity fades, and your confidence shrinks. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine a seed. If you leave that seed sitting on your kitchen counter because it is safe there, it will never grow. It will never turn into a tree. For that seed to become what it was meant to be, it has to be buried in the dirt. It has to break apart, endure rain, and push through the soil towards sunlight. That is uncomfortable. But it is the only way growth happens. You are the same way. If you want to become who you are meant to be, you have to leave the safety of your kitchen counter and be willing to go through the dirt. Comfort also makes you soft. When life throws challenges your way, and it will, you will not be ready if you have been living too comfortably. That is why so many people fall apart when things get tough. They have never built the resilience to handle discomfort. The more you stay in your comfort zone, the less you trust yourself to handle hard things. That is how fear takes over. Here is another way to think about it. Imagine someone who never leaves their house because they want to avoid discomfort. At first, they feel safe. But eventually, even stepping outside to get the mail feels scary. Why? Because they have made their world so small that even normal life feels overwhelming. This is what happens when you live in comfort too long. Your world shrinks, your confidence fades, and your potential dies quietly. On the other hand, people who regularly step outside their comfort zone thrive. They do not avoid fear, they face it. Because they face it, they grow. Their confidence builds, their opportunities multiply. They become the kind of people others admire, not because they had it easy, but because they refuse to settle for easy. You have dreams that will never come true if you stay comfortable. That business idea, that book you want to write, that fitness goal, they will stay dreams unless you choose growth over comfort. The good news, the choice is yours. Every single day, you get to decide comfort or growth. And here's the beautiful thing about discomfort. The more you embrace it, the easier it becomes. What once felt terrifying becomes your new normal. That is how successful people operate. They live outside their comfort zones so often that discomfort feels like home. So, ask yourself this. Are you living your life? Or are you just existing in a bubble of safety? Because while comfort feels safe, it is slowly robbing you of your potential. It is time to break free. In the next step, let us explore how discomfort, rather than being your enemy, is actually the key to greatness. We have exposed how comfort quietly robs you of your potential, trapping you in a cycle of safety that feels good, but keeps you small. Now, let us take it a step further, because discomfort is not just a tool for growth, it is the very forge where greatness is crafted. It is where ordinary people step out of the shadows and build legacies that echo for generations. Every remarkable story you admire, every trailblazer who inspires you, has walked through discomfort. Not once, not twice, but over and over, until pain became their teacher and fear became their guide. Comfort never built a leader, a creator, or a champion. It only creates replicas of what already exists. Take Thomas Edison, for example. People celebrate him as the man who gave light to the world, but few remember that he failed over 1,000 times. Picture it, day after day, experiment after experiment, facing laughter, rejection, and exhaustion. Yet Edison kept going, not because he was fearless, but because he understood that each failure was shaping him into the man who would eventually light up the planet. Discomfort was not an obstacle. It was his greatest ally. Think about the moments in your own life that transformed you. Were they easy? Probably not. They were likely moments of uncertainty, moments that made you question yourself, times when you wanted to quit, but chose to take one more step. That is where growth happens. Discomfort pulls back the curtain on your true strength and forces you to discover the grit you did not know you had. Legends are not born with superhuman abilities. They are forged in the fire of persistence. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players in history, was once told he was not good enough to make his high school varsity team. Most people would have quit, but instead, Jordan trained harder than ever, turning rejection into motivation. That hunger, that willingness to embrace discomfort, transformed him into a global icon. Discomfort has a way of sharpening your focus. It pushes you to think creatively, to solve problems, and to develop resilience that no book or seminar could ever teach you. The ones who changed the world are not the ones who had everything handed to them. They are the ones who pushed through the nights of doubt, the years of struggle, and the constant whispers telling them to quit. Choosing discomfort is choosing transformation. Each time you face fear and take a step forward, you rewrite your story. Confidence is not built from staying comfortable. It is built from surviving storms. Every challenge you conquer is proof that you can handle more, and every victory earned in discomfort adds another layer of unshakable belief. If you want to become extraordinary, you must stop seeking the easy path. Instead, search for the challenges that stretch you, the risks that scare you, and the opportunities that feel just beyond your reach. That is where legends are made. Imagine if you leaned into discomfort every day for a year. How much stronger, wiser, and more confident would you be? How many doors would open because you refused to play it safe? The truth is simple. Comfort is seductive, but it is also the silent enemy of greatness. The lives that inspire us are filled with moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty, yet those individuals pressed on. They became living proof that discomfort is not the enemy. It is the invitation to step into the life you were meant to live. The choice is yours. You can stay where it is, safe and comfortable, or you can step into the unknown, where your true potential lives. Comfort will keep you stuck, but courage will rewrite your story. Every legend you admire once stood in fear, but they moved forward anyway. You do not need to wait for the perfect moment. Start now. Take one bold step today. Make the call, send the email, sign up for the challenge. Comfort will fail you, but courage will carry you to the life you dream of.